Wanted to make a video about the rally tomorrow. And there's been some questions about what is the rally for? What is it about? You've seen in numerous text messages, like 100 a day. You've heard some talk in a few speeches from the podium. So I just wanted to kind of give you some background, kind of give you some context on this whole thing. So the rally is important, and it doesn't make a difference whether your seniority doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you stand. It doesn't matter if you stand to the very front or you stand to the very back. The rally is important for you. If you are a worker for 1422, it is important that you show up and you show out tomorrow. And so let me just give you some background. So I'm going to share my screen with you quickly. So bear with me. All right. So here we are. This is your master contract here. And so this is what the point is here. The master contract here, you can see the master contract is between the United States Maritime Alliance, which is the USMX, and it's between International Longshoremen's Association. And so the point here is we're going to go down to page 17 so that we really get an understanding of exactly what's going on here. And when we get to 17, here we go. When we get to 17, under section 7, it says port authorities, okay? And so this is going to cover the Port of Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, and Wilmington. They all have this hybrid model. The hybrid model, what is that? That is both state employees and union workers working at the same terminal. That's that hybrid model that they're discussing, and this is the whole premise behind the issues that we're having. So if we scroll down to 7B of the master contract, it says, USMX agrees to formally notify any port authority contemplating the development of or intending to develop a new container handling facility that USMX members may be prohibited from using that new facility if the work at the facility is not performed by master contract bargaining unit employees. Okay, so let's just unpack that. What does that actually mean? That means that if you build a new terminal, we have jurisdiction. That's what it means. And so the problem here is that this agreement is between the ILA and USMX, or the shipping lines, not with the Port Authority. But the Port Authority is well aware and very much familiar with this contract. And not only that, there is a problem with us as a local being blamed for this, if we can consider this a work slowdown, which I do, okay? We are being blamed for the work. We do not own ships. We do not schedule ships. We are not responsible for ships coming and going. So we need to be very clear that what's going on now, there is no connection between what we consider as a slowdown period and this dispute over the jurisdiction of Hugh Leatherman Terminal. There is no connection. How do I know that? Because ships will bypass the Port of Charleston and set up shop at the Port of Savannah and sit in the water for days and just sit there for several days before they even make it into the Port of Savannah. And then once they get into the Port of Savannah, it takes them days to be worked. In the meantime, we have berths available at the Wando and at North Charleston. So what you have is, and this has been going on for years, many years, that the rotation is normally the ships will go to Savannah first, then come back up and head on out, go over overseas. It's been that way for years. In the time that I've been here, that's been the rotation more often than not. The rotation hasn't changed, even though the ships have to sit outside in the water at the Port of Savannah for days before being worked, when we have berths available here at the Port of Charleston. Now, that goes back to many years ago when we went through the recession and the Port of Savannah reinvented themselves, built a lot of distribution warehouses and that type of thing. And so by doing so, by building these hubs there, it actually allowed them to require ships to come to Savannah. So it's just something. It was a great chess move. Kudos to Savannah for doing it. But my point here is simple. What we have going on now has nothing to do with the shipping lines not wanting to be serviced at the Port of Charleston because of us, the ILA. That has nothing to do with it. But the problem is, see, here's the thing. This is why you have to come to the rally. You must come to the rally because this is the narrative that's being painted. This is what's being put out there. This is what the media is putting out there. Every time we are in a state that does not want union here. Nikki Haley said years ago in front of the cameras for everyone to hear that businesses are welcome to operate and build here in South Carolina as long as they don't employ union workers. If they want to employ union workers, she said, they're not welcome. This was Nikki Haley. We are up against forces that do not want to honor Section 7B. Section 7B is what the problem is. And so this is why the shipping lines and those ships that are a part of USMX now, because there are little ships that aren't part of USMX, and you start to see that, they do call on Hugh Leatherman Terminal, and that there's nothing that USMX can do about those little ships that are not part of that coalition. There's nothing that they can do to stop them from calling on Hugh Leatherman Terminal because they're not part of that coalition. But this is why the USMX ships that are part of that coalition are not calling on Hugh Leatherman Terminal, because they are honoring what's going on Section 7B. We are not forcing anyone to do anything they didn't put in writing. This is the point. This is in writing. This is the understanding. So I want everyone to understand and explicitly that we are not responsible as a local. The ships are not bypassing us to go anywhere else because of what we have going on. We are fighting for our livelihood. We are fighting for our future. And please explain to me, if anyone out there can explain to me how, given this opportunity of a brand new terminal, why we don't have the responsibility to all future longshore men and longshore women, why we don't have that responsibility to our children and our children's children and the next generation of longshore workers to come into this local. Why don't we bear that responsibility of trying to obtain all those jobs, secure that jurisdiction that we deserve to have? Why, if anyone can explain to me why we should not try and fight to get this jurisdiction that USMX clearly acknowledges by putting it in black and white, and consequently does not call on Hugh Leatherman Terminal. They are honoring the words that they put into this contract. But we have a responsibility to fight for what belongs to us, our jurisdiction. This is what we do. Charleston has always been the fighter. We have always demanded and required. This is what we do. So this rally is just the beginning. We have got to come together. No matter I don't care what you think about politics and all that stuff, has nothing to do with our responsibility. And if anyone, because we're going through this period, right? And we're going through this period where we have men and women that aren't working as often, and it's a rough period. And trust me when I say that we have all gone through some terrible times here. We have all gone through some sacrifices, and that doesn't diminish what you're going through right now. That's not the point. The point is that we have to be able to look beyond today. We have to be able to look and have vision. We have got to start playing chess instead of checkers, because the Ports Authority, they are playing chess. I just got a phone call not too long ago before making this video. This individual, he is running Uber. He's running Uber, and he is making pretty good money. And he is overhearing and speaking with individuals that are running Uber, his passengers. And these individuals are flying in to facilitate and build manufacturing plants here in this area. And one of the attractions, well, there were two attractions. One of the attractions is the logistics chain that we have here, where manufacturers can come in and they have a direct connection to the port to export their goods. So that was an attraction. But the other attraction was, this is a right to work state. That's the other attraction. This is a right to work state. So there is a draw to come here. There's this push to get these manufacturing jobs away from China and bring them here. There's a draw for manufacturers and those who are looking to build manufacturing plants here. There's a draw here because of the right to work. So we need to recognize what we're up against. So the port recognizes this. They're putting these initiatives and these incentives out there. They recognize this. They are well aware that manufacturing is coming back to the United States. They are well aware that manufacturers would find these areas in the South where right to work states are the guideline. They will find those areas more attractive. The Ports Authority has been networking and understands what the future is. We have to understand what the future is. We have to understand that we will be exporting because of the manufacturing plants that are looking to come here and facilitate jobs here and build their products here. So we have to be forward looking. And so I just wanted to show you, I want to share my screen on another article that I came up with, that I saw. And so let's see here. This article that I came up with, it's from the, there's a National Right to Work Foundation, okay? And so this is the narrative that's being put out that we need to start pushing back on. And it says, ILA union officials aided and abetted the Biden NLRB. Listen to the wording. ILA union officials aided and abetted by the Biden NLRB. How's this Biden's NLRB? And if for those of you who don't know, that's the National Labor Relations Board. How is this Biden's NLRB? Anyway, it continues. Are directly attacking the rights and the livelihoods of hundreds of Charleston Port employees simply because they work free of union monopoly control. Where's this happening at? Where's the monopoly? Where's the control? I'm confused, but this is the narrative, okay? This is the narrative. This is what's going on. This is what's being put out in the media. This is what we have to push back on. This is what this rally is about. This rally is about this type of foolishness, these lies and these narratives. This is what this is about. This is not, we have to get out of ourselves. We have to get out of ourselves because this is the foolishness that's being put out in the media. Got another one for you. Coming straight from the top. Governor Henry McMaster urges court to reject union boycott of Leatherman Terminal. When did we boycott Leatherman Terminal? When? Where's the boycott? I don't know anything about that. What boycott? We don't control these ships. This is part of the master contract that the USMX agreed on. Where's the boycott? But this is the foolishness. This is why this rally is important, because of these false narratives and these lies and this misinformation. And so the community out there, they're listening to this foolishness. They're listening to the lies, and they're being manipulated. They're buying into this narrative as if we're controlling this whole narrative that we are boycotting Hugh Leatherman Terminal. When? This is the foolishness, and this is coming from the top. This is coming from the top of the food chain in South Carolina. Why is he involved? Did the work stop? No. So why is he getting involved? If I seem to be a little emotional, it's because I am. I'm tired and I'm frustrated of all the lies that are being put out into the media. And this is the problem that we're having. This is the problem that we're having. So we have got to get out of ourselves. We have got to attend this rally. It is vitally important. It's not just this rally. It's about correcting the record. It's not just about this rally. It's about standing up for you, standing up for us, ourselves. It's not about one day of work or 2 days of work or a week of work or a month of work. This is about a generation of work. This is about the generations of longshoremen and longshore women. This is about the future. This is not about the foreseeable future either. This is about the long term. This is about vision. This is about faith. This is about understanding that we are fighters and we cannot continue to sit idly by and let others who don't do this work, who are not going through the sacrifices that me and you are making, these individuals who they're not driving that truck with no AC. They're not driving that truck with shoddy equipment. They're not in the heat. They're not in the rain. They're not in the cold. They don't have nothing to do with what we do on a daily basis, and they don't care. All they care about is keeping that tax money and that tax revenue coming into the state of South Carolina, but they don't care about the workers who actually do the work. So the article said hundreds of port employees, hundreds. I think the article said something like 200 and something, 230, 250, whatever it is, however they want to quantify it, doesn't make a difference. We're talking about thousands of ILA union jobs over the lifetime. Thousands. Many people don't even know that when there's no ship at these terminals, ILA Local 1422 has 3 individuals working. 3. And no offense, but the checkers have way more than that. No offense to them. They do the trucks and the gates and stuff like that. No offense to them. This is not about them. Okay, we are all one. But this is just to show the disparity here when we do not have any ships. So why? Why, if there's no ships, we don't work, why would we ever boycott or run off work? This is the type of narrative that we have to push back on. You should not ever allow a single conversation to happen in your presence, in your orbit, that perpetuates these types of lies and misinformation. You should not even allow it. And that's what this rally is about tomorrow. This rally tomorrow is about pushing back and standing up for ourselves, because we are not doing anything wrong. We are righteous in what we are doing. So tomorrow at the Statehouse at 11, get there early. We have buses. Take the buses if you want to. Drive if you want to. Just be there. And do not worry about it. Again, do not worry about today or tomorrow. God got you. God got us. This is about, we have to step out on faith. We walk by faith, not by sight. We have got to understand that real people got real problems, real issues, and you got real bills, and you got to take care of your family. You got to do those things. Well, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. By securing our jurisdiction, by securing our jurisdiction, by standing up for ourselves, by pushing back on these false narratives, by correcting the record. This is how we do it. This is how we begin to heal, because this is what needs to happen after we get past this thing. After we get past this decision, there has to be a healing process because the port gonna feel some type of way, because I feel very strongly that we can be successful in this. That's just something my spirit is telling me. So regardless, there's going to have to be some healing afterwards, because the port going to feel some type of way, or ILA is going to feel some type of way, or what have you. Listen, at the end of the day, the rally tomorrow is for us, by us. For us, by us. This is not about politics, not our local politics, okay? Henry McMaster is trying to make it about politics, but this is not about our local politics. This is not about who your buddy is. This is not about where you stand at. Let's stop this division. Let's stop this division, because on this right here, we got to stand like this. We got to stand together. On this right here, we got to be like this. All that negativity, all that toxicity, get rid of it. Because this is for us, by us. Pushing back on this type of foolishness right here. Reject union boycott of Leatherman Terminal. That's absolutely ridiculous. Union monopoly. Absolutely ridiculous. And this is the foolishness that we have to deal with, that they're putting out into the community. Please, I'm encouraging everyone to be to the rally tomorrow. This is our future. This is not just my future. This is our future. So with that, may God bless you. May God keep you. Sorry, I got all upset. It's just an emotional topic. And the truth is that we have to stop letting people say what they want to say and just straight up lie and put out bad information and misinformation. It's got to stop. And this rally, this is where it starts.